What is going on, guys? MMA Island team. We got the fight picks, and we are back with UFC Vegas. Hermanson versus Vettori. I will call it a banger for this fight. I say we got a banger. I know a lot of people.
It's a great fight. I
love
agree.
I love it. We got Taila Santos taking on Montana De La Rosa. I love this fight, and I'm going first, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Wait,
Okay.
is it Taila or Talia?
I thought it was Taila Santos. Taila Santos, so I could be wrong. That
You're
sucks.
probably right. Let's see. Taila.
That sucks.
That is Taila.
She's one of my favorite fighters right now in the UFC, and I think it's interesting for people to say. It's interesting for people to hear that. I would assume just because she's 1-1 in the UFC. Split decision loss against Mara Romero Borella. I am always very careful saying that name from now on, but
I fucked it up really bad on a show. Someone commented and they were like, "You said Maro Rebella Morella or something." I was like, "What?"
It's a tongue twister, man. But I was so impressed with Taila Santos and everything I've seen out of her. I've done some tape study on her. For whatever reason, she's been one of the fighters that I've studied the most out of the fighters in the UFC right now. Probably number one for all the girls. I think one girl that I can say that I've done a lot of tape study on is Miranda Maverick recently. So Miranda Maverick and Taila Santos are probably two of my top female fighters right now in my eyes. Those two girls are awesome. Liana Jojua too. Kind of sucked watching Miranda Maverick, Liana Jojua fight. But hey, let's talk
man,
about
I was so upset.
Seeing Montana De La Rosa. Last time we saw her, she fought Vivian Araujo. And she also fought Mara Romero Borella, and
on a dub, right? She got a dub in her last fight.
Yeah, she unanimously beat her. And Taila Santos had a split decision loss against her. So this is the thing we've seen Montana De La Rosa go out there and fight some pretty tough girls. We've seen her fight Cynthia Calvillo, Mackenzie Dern, Rachel Ostovich, Nadia Kassem, Borella, Andrea Lee, Vivian Araujo. She's fought some really, really tough names. 11-6. You kind of have to say, oh, who has she fought? But she's fought some pretty tough names in the division. And then you're looking at Taila Santos, a girl who came in and was an underdog against Molly McCann, and I didn't think she should be, and I picked her to win, and she won. And then Mara Romero Borella lost split decision to that one. So I don't know, man. Looking at a girl in Taila Santos who has an awesome record, 16-1. Got to go with her, and this is pretty high confidence from my side. I think that she can go in there and outpoint Montana De La Rosa. Montana De La Rosa, just to bring up her stats, I know she's either got accuracy or striking defense is way off. Striking accuracy is at 35%, and Taila Santos is at 60% striking defense. So obviously that's in what, three fights it tracks her on. But 60% striking defense is very good for your first three fights in the UFC. Obviously taking on Borella and McCann. Those are two girls who I hold in pretty high regard. Like obviously Molly McCann is a good fighter in that division. And obviously Borella not in the UFC anymore, but she's fought names as well. And holding up that striking defense percentage is impressive to me. And if you're talking about Montana De La Rosa and you're going to say she's going to go in there and try and take her down like crazy, two things I would say to you. First of all, Taila Santos likes to go for the takedown game. She is the one who typically initiates the takedowns. And her takedown defense, 83% over three fights. Montana De La Rosa, 30% straight takedown accuracy. So this is the thing about Montana De La Rosa. When she wins her fights, she typically wins via point fighting. And that's not a shot at her whatsoever. That's a strategy in my eyes, and I think a lot of people disagree with me. But hey, whatever. But I think that's a strategy for most people. And Montana De La Rosa has done a pretty good job out of it, beating some pretty good opponents. But I just think that Taila Santos is a very, very good fighter. I hold her in very high regard, as I mentioned, one of my favorite fighters at the moment. Definitely in the women's divisions. But yeah, man, I gotta go with Taila Santos. I'll pass it on to Slick.
Shit, I'll take Taila Santos too. Fuck it. I think that the percentage is pretty high of a debuting fighter getting a loss, and she lost a split decision to Mara Romero Borella. God, Mara Romero Borella. So her UFC debut, she proved she could go to the distance with a UFC caliber fighter, and she won it on a judge's scorecard. So to get 3 fights canceled in a row, 2 versus Ashley Evans Smith and Jillian Robertson, 2 like I mean,
Those were very good fights.
yeah, so and to come back in 2020 and get a unanimous decision win over somebody like Molly McCann, that shows a lot of growth as a competitor.
Definitely.
That shows that, okay, I'm taking the right steps. I'm on the right track starting off my UFC career. So I think Montana De La Rosa is going to be the next step for her. I think that Montana De La Rosa has definitely fought some talented and well-known chicks. I think that she's good. I like watching Montana De La Rosa scrap. But I'll take Taila here as well. I'll take Taila Santos. The 16-1 record's really shiny, and I like that a lot. Montana De La Rosa, she's kind of in a, because if she loses, she'll be 11-7. That's not awesome, but you got to remember, in women's MMA, the records are typically closer in that regard. Like an 11-7 record isn't as drastically like, oh, worrisome as if it's a male, like, you know, bantamweight or featherweight. It's like the guy's 11-7. It's like, oh, he might not even get signed to the UFC, you know? So 11-6 is kind of concerning for me. Makes me feel like, you know, is she really going to take a loss to someone who is their third fight? But then you have to think about it. Taylor's not really going to be a beginner anymore in the UFC. I mean, she feels new, but she's not. I mean, she got the experience fight with Barella, then she got the prove it fight with McCann. Now she's going to go on to bigger and better things and take. It's tough. Sorry to ramble on, but let me look at Montana De La Rosa's losses real quick. She's got decision losses, punches to Calvillo, choked by Dern. Okay. So here's the thing for me. I think as far as the grappling goes, it's safe to assume that Montana De La Rosa might have a little bit of an advantage because she's skilled down there, but I haven't watched as much tape as you, so I don't know the extent of Taila's ground game, or Taila, but I think that Taila Santos is definitely the more dangerous fighter on the feet. Like you said, she's more accurate, and she's got like plenty of knockouts on her feet. I mean, she's got head kicks, she's got doctor stoppages, she's got TKOs. I think that it's not gonna look like a classic grappler versus striker fight, but I think that the routes to victory are kind of lay within those lines. So that being said, I'll take Taila all the way up to decision again, though.
Definitely. Well, man, definitely a name to watch out for, Taila Santos.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot on this little shoot of this episode.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. You guys learned a lot talking about this, and I know a lot of you guys hold our picks in pretty high regard. So that's why we got Zach getting the pick as well. So let me pull out my phone, check in my text, and see who's.
He's gonna take De La Rosa.
I don't know. Let's see. Nope, he's got Taila Santos. Santos. We're 3 for 3 with Taila Santos. And we'll see if we agree on the co-main and the main event. So it'll be really, really interesting to see. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Make sure you guys are showing your support by letting us know who you guys got in the comments, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and make sure you guys check out the other Fight Pick videos.